I'm getting my hat, I don't feel anything. Look at this. And what I wanted, oh, let me get the mic. Just stand there for a little while there. You can't imagine what this woman looked like. How old are you now, sweetheart?
42.
42, so since she was 19, thrown over a 75-foot cliff and abandoned to death. But to look at her now, compared to when I first met her, with so much anger and rage inside of her. Maybe you can all sit down so you can all see her. She has a book contract at Hay House. And I'll be right forward. But the thing that tears me up is not her recovery. It's amazing. It's what she looks like. It's the aura that she has now about her. Because she saw something in the paper, an obituary, that the man who had done this, he wasn't convicted in the military. But later on in his life, apparently he ended up in jail. And I'd like you just, Dana, to tell all of these people what you did when you found out that he had passed. This man who raped you and threw you over a cliff.
So when I was on a cruise in Australia, I said, you should go see John God. And I was like, who's John God? All right. So I did it. And in the experience in Brazil, I was able to find the forgiveness that he's talking about. It was just washed away from my heart. And I went home and I looked Brent up on the internet. And below an article where he had kidnapped a woman in Idaho, held her hostage for 5 days, reading her scriptures out of the Bible, was his obituary. And I was looking him up to tell him that I had found forgiveness. And so what I ended up doing is I called his mom. It took me a half an hour staring at his mom's phone number. And I teared up and I wasn't sure if I could do it, but then I just hit send. And when she answered the phone, I could barely speak. All I could do was, I got out, I knew your son. And she said, well, okay. And I said, I just want to offer you my condolences. And she said, well, thank you. And I told her, I said, I'd like to tell you one more thing. I'm the one your son threw off a cliff and raped in 1990. And she's like, what? We didn't even know what happened that night. Well, it's because the military swept it under the carpet. They gave me a choice. They said, you can take this to court and you will lose. You will get nothing. And at that point, I had just started breathing on my own. I could not even get one syllable out without taking a breath. And it was just a whisper whenever I talked. And my other choice was, you can be 100% service-connected, take your right to remain silent, and be service-connected the rest of your life. And so I took my right to remain silent, and then I told his mom, I said, the one thing I really want you to know is I forgave your son. And she cried, and I cried with her, and she said, what can I do for you? I said, forgive yourself. As I know parents blame themselves for the wrongdoings that their children do. And I want you to forgive yourself, because I've forgiven your son.
So this is Dana.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sweetheart. You're an inspiration to all.